Okay, so are you on Threads now? I mean, like, have you joined the new raving social media platform Thread, courtesy of Zach? I feel like if everyone was happy with Twitter, the response today wouldn't have been as overwhelming as it is for Thread. And that's why I thought to do this video, because as business owners and aspiring business owners, I think it's important that we pay attention to these things and learn all these lessons. Don't just laugh about it on Twitter or on Threads. Don't just do all the banters. I think it's important to pick some salient lessons from everything that has happened. And so I'm going to be starting with the first one, which is still like, customer is still king in this era. And the reason why you have a business in the first place is because you have your customers. And so you have to make sure that you're doing everything within your power to satisfy your customer. I mean, you know, the least Elon could have done at the time was to provide a rationale for why he took that decision. Okay, you just bought Twitter. Perhaps he looked at the financials and the company wasn't really doing wonderful. You could have gotten the buy-in of your customers, and then you could have phased the execution of, you know, removal of those badges. And then when people were pushing back, honestly, I don't think that the responses made Twitter users feel appreciated. But again, that's it. Customer is king. They can choose to fire you today. Like if the entire Twitter users wake up today and say, you know what, let's kiss Elon goodbye, everyone will leave that platform, which is not possible anyways. But I'm waiting to see the impact of, you know, the Thread launch on Twitter over the next 1 week. I want to see, I hope somebody releases those numbers. I'm sure they'll try to protect it at all costs. Because if you make people feel like the business is not doing well, then more people will leave. So I'm sure Elon will protect that data. But then I'd like to see it, honestly, just to see how much it impacted Twitter, all that has happened. Regardless of the business that you're doing, like, you need to constantly evolve in how you make your customers feel special. Lesson for me. And then the second one for me would be customers are not loyal. Customers are not loyal. They are not. Oh my god. Despite the fact that people have enjoyed Twitter over the years, I mean, look at how happily, it's the joy for me, how happily people were switching to Thread. I know that a lot of businesses have like loyalty programs, but trust me, no matter the loyalty program you have planned for your business and how perfect it is, the moment another customer or competitor gives a better loyalty, gives the customer better reward, gives them, most of your customers will leave. Only few out of convenience, out of attachment, will stay back, but a lot will still leave to the one that is better. And so it is important that at every point in time you are doing all you can to bring in new customers. Like, no matter the stage you are in business, you need new customers every time. You want to make sure that regardless whether the business is scaled, whether it's profitable, whatever, you need to make sure that you're bringing in new users at every point in time, and find ways to do that. I don't know if Twitter does advert. Whatever, you know, the effort has been to get new customers, now more than ever Twitter actually needs that. I don't know how that's going to play out, honestly. The third thing for me is you need to be agile in business. And when I say agile, I really mean you need to be very responsive to change. I feel like after COVID happened and businesses were thrown into chaos and they needed to adapt to that new change, this is one thing that is happening in the world right now that is giving me that level of disruption again. Even though it's just for Twitter, but this is a major disruption. And I'm thinking, what would be the next direction, the next strategic direction of Elon's team with what has happened? Will Elon be courageous enough to reverse some of the policies that they had in place that makes for customer satisfaction? And if they do that, will it make any difference? Besides, it's too late actually, and I don't think that a giant or a market leader will want to go back on policies like that. But if you're not doing that, then what will be the incentive that you're giving customers and users to actually stay back at Twitter and not close their Twitter accounts for Thread? You know what I mean? And the thing about Thread, funny enough, is like when you get to Thread, you can afford to have all the size of the following that you initially had on Instagram, and that's a crazy competitive advantage because everybody gets to join Thread, but you don't necessarily have to start from scratch. And that's just genius, to be honest. And I'm just thinking, what will be the next thing that Elon is going to do? Which brings me to the point, like, you need to be ready for crisis in your business at any point in time. Crisis can erupt this is crisis for Twitter, take my word for it. Crisis can erupt at any point in time. If you're a big business, if you're big enough, then you probably have your crisis management team on board. But if you're not that much of a big business, then how do you respond to change? How do you want to have a change management department? Somebody has to be responsible for that. Somebody who is quick thinking, on the feet, and is able to innovate very fast and bring up ideas that can turn around a situation as this one. You need transformative leaders within your business. And so if you are that leader, if you're an entrepreneur and that responsibility lies on your shoulder to be that responsive to change, then I think you might want to prepare yourself a lot. Make sure you follow what is happening and see Twitter's response to this. Read books and read stories of other businesses and how they thrived in the face of change, but make sure they are always ready for change. Anything can happen at any time. Like, anything can happen at any time, and your business is going to be impacted terribly, right? So responsiveness to change is a major factor for businesses at this time. Before I continue, I want to thank you so much for joining, and I want to encourage you to please hit the subscribe button if you haven't. All the lessons in this video will be lost if it doesn't get to as much people as it should, and YouTube will only recommend this content when it perceives that people actually appreciate what I'm saying. So if you can just take a moment to like the video and also subscribe and perhaps share, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. Now the next point for me will be, have eyes for opportunities like a hawk. You know what I mean? Like, let your eyes always be open for opportunities. I mean, who could have thought? Somebody told me that this could have emanated from, there was this time where there was a tweet where Elon was saying he's going to fight Zuck in a ring and he's ready for battle, whatever. But the truth is, I don't think that this idea was born out of that. I feel like this idea has been in the works as soon as the issue with Twitter started to happen. And so that's the thing, is like, for businesses, right, you need to have eyes for opportunities. And you see that there is no friend in business. I mean, while there are ethical ways to do things, but competition is ethical. It is what it is. I mean, there are unethical ways of approaching competition, but I don't see anything wrong with what Zuck did. I feel like Zuck just saw an opportunity and hopped on it. As painful as that is, because I have like mixed feelings about it. But why have mixed feelings? That's what business is about, right? Where you see an opportunity happening and you think, oh, this is oversaturated for now, oh, this is whatever. Zuck saw this opportunity, hopped on it, and here we are. Not only did he hop on it, there's been like some very good improvements. You look at that interface, it's so easy, to navigate the Thread platform, even though the only challenge I have with that is that right now I cannot edit my post, and I tend to type at the speed of my thoughts. So sometimes I would have posted before I realized, oh, there's like one typo error somewhere. So I'm telling Zuck right now, as a new user, please make sure that I'm able to edit my posts. Come on. So the first point is to make sure that you have eyes for opportunity at every point in time, and don't be nice about it when you see an opportunity. An opportunity is an opportunity, and it's ethical. Provided you're not doing anything unethical, hop on it. And copycat is a form of innovation, actually. And then when you copy, you try to improve on what you have copied on. And God, look at the genius, look at all the improvement that Instagram gave. It's like you can easily navigate from your Instagram to Thread. People can easily follow you from your Instagram on Thread. People can locate you. The ease of navigation is amazing, right? And then, so when you are hopping on an opportunity, make sure you do it in a way that is improved. So you're not copying without any improvement, right? There's improvement. While I'm not encouraging everybody to be copying here and there, but there's nothing wrong with what Zuck did. Take my word for it. Copying is a form of innovation. People tell you that when you want to innovate, sometimes you don't have to innovate from the scratch. Just take something that is happening already and start to improve on the product, right? Release the minimum product possible, which is what Zuck has done, because I'm sure that editing a post is going to come up later, but then it will come up as an improvement, so take those opportunities as they come, but improve on them as you do. The last point for me would be, continue to improve your product, whether there's a problem or not. You know what I mean? It's like whether there's threat or not, whether there's going to be a problem tomorrow or not, make sure that you are improving the quality of your products, the quality of your business, the quality of your deliveries every now and then. Continuous improvement should be in your blood, and this doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a market leader. Your business doesn't have to be a unicorn. It doesn't have to be worth $1 billion before you begin to see why improvement is possible. Even if you are a small business, continue to see how you are driving those improvements in your business at every point in time, actually. Because I feel like if Twitter had been given to a lot of innovation and improvement over the years, then I won't see such glaring difference in how the Twitter platform is and how Thread platform is. Because like the difference is so obvious. Thread is a much easier platform to navigate. That's just the truth, you know. But like maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but maybe could have closed the gap between the two platforms if Twitter had continued to improve. Okay, I don't know how agile and responsive Twitter is to feedbacks, but I'm sure that a lot of people like give feedbacks and all of that, but I don't know how, you know, that went down with Twitter. So as a business owner, just make sure that you are improving your product and your brand every single time, whether there is threat or not. And when the threat eventually happens, you would have closed the gap between you and competition in terms of how the acceptance that users would have or customers will have to competition, right? You would have closed that gap, and then it'll be easier for you to deal with as a business. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up the video right now. I have a feeling that I'm going to actually have more lessons, and maybe when I have more lessons, I'll put them together. This is just like over the top of my head, out of the excitement of all that is happening, and like the little time I took to just sit down and think about everything that is. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I hope you do me the honors and just subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna see you guys on the next episode of Sessions with Ella.